What's up gamers, Dreamcastguy here, talking today about the PlayStation 5 because it sounds like we are finally going to see the console literally in a matter of days, and I am so extremely hyped for it because at this point, as excited as many of us are, we still don't know that much about the PlayStation 5. We still haven't seen that many games, we haven't seen somebody holding this funky controller, we haven't even seen the console itself other than some strange leaked patents like this thing here. So I'm kind of curious, and it seems like it's coming up very shortly. So what I wanted to do today is try and look at some of the evidence and some of the facts that have come out to try and guess what I think are the 6 games we are definitely going to see, and hopefully in depth. Now before we do that, real quickly, I do want to thank everybody. This has been crazy. The channel's been really blowing up recently, but especially the live streams. Because of all the people who have been super chatting and donating and stuff, I've finally been able to purchase a real professional microphone, and it even has like a boom arm and stuff, and I mean, thank you. I've been using the same super cheap microphone to make the last 1,000 videos. So the fact that I have a real piece of equipment now, and it's completely because of y'all. So thank you. This video is completely dedicated to you. I am eternally grateful. But now, let's get into the hype. Now, we know for a fact, because of what the developers and stuff have been saying, this is going to be a pretty long reveal. They've actually gone on the record and said that the PlayStation 5 reveal event is going to be about 1 hour. Now, the way I'm thinking about this is people have been saying that the point of this event isn't to try and just show off what the system is physically going to look like, but it's instead supposed to try and give people a better idea of how things are going to look running on the PlayStation 5. This is supposed to be the next generation. Well, now that we've heard that, I think that what's going to happen is I think that they're going to focus on 6 main games. I think that we're probably going to see a little bit of talking, an extended demo, and then some more talking, followed by another demo. I think that this is going to be like an E3 press conference, a kind of centered effort on some bigger projects to get us excited. That's not to say that we won't see a sizzle reel, because Sony loves to try and do a bunch of tinier teases, so it's very likely that we're going to see stuff like Rocksteady's mysterious Batman game. That's probably going to be shown off for at least a couple seconds. The next Call of Duty, which rumors are stating is going to be in the Cold War. There's a good chance that we might see Uncharted, maybe in some capacity, because even though Nathan Drake has retired at the end of Uncharted 4, there's a good chance that somebody else is going to be taking up the Uncharted mantle. The games I'm most curious about personally, though, are the things that we're going to see more of, the big deep dive projects. And that brings me to the first one that we're going to be talking about today, which is the Demon Souls Remake. Now, Bluepoint Games, this is a studio that's very special at total reinventions. They go into established franchises and they just completely rebuild an already famous project. That's what they did with the absolutely stunning version I did of Shadow of the Colossus. Well, there's been a bunch of people saying that right now they're working on Demon Souls. Omega, this is so freaking cool. So Demon Souls is actually the game that came right before Dark Souls, and it was sort of a precursor to the idea of action RPGs. It is really good, but one of the things I think is it's kind of aged badly. I say this as a fan of Demon Souls, but it definitely has, well, obviously the worst graphics, but I really think that the combat and environments and stuff, they could certainly handle to be tweaked. So the idea of Bluepoint going in there and totally redoing this stuff is so freaking intense. Now let's make an easy bet here. This is a game that's already been leaked. Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is of course coming back. PlayStation's premier racing series. This has been on all of their consoles from the very start. Somebody has already accidentally posted art of the game itself. I mean, at this point, if Gran Turismo isn't shown, these racing games, they love to reveal them because it's an easy tech demo. They're not particularly demanding, so of course you'd be like, this game is running at 800 frames a second and 8K. I definitely think that they're going to show Gran Turismo, not just because people are excited for it, but because it's a way to try and display the upper end of power of the PlayStation 5. Which does bring me to a game that I'm definitely the most excited about. We have more games we're going to get into, but flat out, the game I am most hyped about is Silent Hill. There have been a ton of different people talking about the fact that there is going to be some sort of reboot of the Silent Hill series. For the last couple of years, we know that Konami has kind of stepped away from personally developing projects because for the most part, Konami's in a spot where they've just downsized so much. Technically and legally, they still own things like Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hill, but they've just been turning them into crappy pachinko machines and stuff. They don't really care as much about trying to make these games big and great like they once were. So instead, the rumor is that they've just been licensing it out. If you're a great studio and you're somebody like Sony with enough cash to back it up, they will let you borrow Silent Hill to make a game. Well, that's what the rumor is. The rumor that's been coming out, because I've been covering it and I'm so freaking excited for it, is that we're going to see a back-to-basics Silent Hill. One that tries to get inside your head and mess with you and show you just some totally screwed up things to give you nightmares. And it sounds like that is going to be at the PlayStation 5 reveal event. I actually want to do something though, which is that I want to give you a guess. I'm going to predict that the name of this project is specifically going to be Silent Hill Beginnings. They're going to do that to try and establish the brand again and say, this ain't the old Silent Hill, this is a new age of Silent Hill, and I am definitely ready for it. Now, next game, this is going to be another safe bet, Horizon Zero Dawn 2. The original Horizon Zero Dawn has now sold over 10 million units, so of course it was eventually going to get a follow-up, but we've already seen a lot of details about this come out purely by mistake. We've seen developers saying too much. One person that's like a concept artist just kind of showed some pictures he wasn't supposed to show. The voice of Aloy, the main character, she has even directly been talking to fans, and there's videos of this. She was talking to fans and she said, "Oh, I'm glad you guys like Horizon Zero Dawn 1. You're going to love what we've done with Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I mean, at this point, we absolutely know that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 exists. It's not even a rumor. We're just waiting for it to show up. Well, I guarantee you they're going to put it here because the game is big, it's glorious, it's graphically impressive, and I think the fact that they can have like huge mechanized dinosaurs roaming around, that's a pretty clear way to say this is the technology of the PlayStation 5. And I also think that it's cool because one of the things that's going on with the PlayStation 5, I think the PlayStation 5 is kind of trying to show you, hey, this is a PlayStation 4 but better. And more than anything, I think the biggest game that's going to reveal that is definitely Spider-Man 2. The PS4 Spider-Man game was a gigantic success. I mean, from any way you measure it, from store sales to the amount of people who bought the special edition PlayStation 4 itself, or even the fact that I feel like a lot of times lately, critics, like professional game reviewers at IGN and Kotaku, a lot of times they kind of disagree with gamers. The stuff that gamers love the most, sometimes there's this clashing of ideas, but it seemed like pretty much everybody unanimously agreed that Spider-Man PS4 was an amazing game. But we do know that it wasn't as good as it was supposed to be. The developers have talked about the fact that the PlayStation 4 can only let you go so fast. They could only throw up the building so quickly. So because of it, they had to try and limit the way that the game itself worked to keep Spider-Man going in a way that wouldn't completely explode your console. Well, with the PlayStation 5, the gloves are off. I mean, I honestly think that the biggest portion of this PlayStation 5 reveal is going to be dedicated to Spider-Man. I mean, to the point in which we may see Spider-Man kind of be the unofficial mascot of the PlayStation 5 because it will be a great way to try and say, this is what this system is going to do. We can have bigger, flashier stuff. We can have you fall thousands of floors and swing yourself into the sun itself. I'm excited more than anything for Spider-Man because I'm just so curious to see what Peter Parker's next adventure is going to be, and hopefully he's battling the evil Venom himself. I mean, that sounds so freaking hyped. Now let's talk about the last game, another easy bet, but one that I'm kind of curious what it ends up looking like, which is the next God of War. Now, there's been a strange amount of debate online as to what this game should be called. I mean, is it going to be considered God of War 5? I mean, it is the fifth of the mainline God of Wars, but there's also a bunch of spin-offs. So is this going to be God of War 8? Is this God of War reinvented? In my opinion, the best name is the one that's the most fitting, which is God of War Ragnarok. I mean, more than anything, they're talking about the idea that by destroying this new set of gods, Kratos may be bringing about the apocalypse. and I'm curious to see how that turns out. Obviously, if you got the secret ending to God of War, you already saw the fact that we're going to be fighting Odin and maybe Thor and all these other ancient gods and stuff, and not just the lower pantheon. I'm super hyped. Obviously, I liked God of War. The new one, I've always been a little bit of a God of War hater. The classic games were not really for me, even though I am friends with the developer, the guy who invented God of War, David Jaffe. Nice guy, never cared for his games. The reinvention, though, I liked the grittier combat, the crazier story, the fact that it was more personal and focused. That is what got me more invested in the world and the universe. But no matter what, I guess I'm just super excited. No matter what they show, it seems like this is going to be a very fun reveal. As I record this video, it is currently Friday the 5th. Right now, we don't know the date. It might be in 2 weeks. It might be in 24 hours. But I wanted to do some last-minute predictions just because I haven't had a chance to talk about it, and I honestly wanted to test out this mic. So much love to everybody. I hope you're staying safe. Be cool, be clean, and keep dreaming. Oh, and subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a like. I'm so excited. I'm like freaking myself thinking about the PlayStation 5. Woo! Sony, make this good. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.